Hi everyone, welcome to the first lesson. In the upcoming videos, I will teach you programming in C++ language. I will try my best to cover all the topic from beginner to the expert level. After finishing this course, you will become proficient in C++, and being proficient in C++ never goes out of style and demand. So let us get started. In today's class, we will be learning some basics of programming. So first of all, we should answer, what does a computer do? So you give input to the computer and the computer will generate the corresponding output. So have you ever thought about how computer will understand our instructions? We human can communicate to each other because we speak the same language, for example English. But there is a problem with the computer. It is an electronic machine and it doesn't understand English. It only understands binary. And binary is basically 0 and 1. 0 means you can say my switch is off, and 1 means I can say my switch is on. In other words, what we can say, 0 means false and 1 means true. So if you want to communicate directly to a computer, you need to talk in binary. So first of all, let us discuss what is binary. So binary is actually a number system. We have many number systems. So let us talk about number systems. So now let us talk about number systems. So number system can be categorized into two types, weighted number system and unweighted number system. So the examples of weighted number system are basically the decimal number system, binary number system, octal number system and hexadecimal number system. There can be many more. The example of unweighted number system is basically tally number system. So let us discuss first unweighted number system. What is unweighted number system? So in unweighted number system, each digit will have the same weight. Each digit has been assigned the same weight. Consider this example. So this digit is assigned a weight of 1. This digit has also a weight of 1 and this is also has been assigned a weight of 1. Now let us talk about weighted number system. So in weighted number system, each digit has been assigned some weight and weights will be different for different number system. So let us talk about decimal number system. We use decimal number system in our day-to-day life. In this decimal number system, 235 is not equals to 325. They are different. Although the digits are same. We have 2, then we have 3, then we have 5. Similarly, we have 2, 3 and 5. The digits are same but the values are different. The weights are different. Here digit 5 has a weight of 1, digit 3 has a weight of 10 and digit 2 basically has a weight of 100. And here digit 5 has a weight of 1, digit 2 has a weight of 10 and digit 3 basically has a weight of 100. So basically if you will do like this, what we will do, digit multiply by its corresponding weight and we will add. Similarly, we will multiply digit with its corresponding weight. So 3 will be multiplied by 100, 3 times 100, then 2 times 10 and 5 times 1. And these two values are different. These two values will be different. So we stop number system here. We will learn more about number system deeply in our future classes. So I was telling you that if you want to communicate directly to a computer, you need to talk in binary. But it is impossible for us to talk or write in binary. So we use programming languages alongside with the flowcharts and algorithms for solving a problem. So let us take the help of a diagram. So this is a beautiful diagram. So what do we have here? So I have a problem. So what we will do, so this problem will be passed through an algorithm. Okay, so what is algorithm? Algorithm is basically a procedure for solving a problem. So we have many steps to solve a problem. Step 1, then we will perform step 2 and similarly there will be many more steps. Then what we will do, we will take the help of flowchart. So what is flowchart? Flowchart is basically a pictorial representation, or you can say the diagrammatic representation of algorithm. Pictorial or diagrammatic representation of an algorithm. So in flowchart, we will be having many shapes like oval shape, we can have parallelogram shape, we can have rectangle shape, we can have diamond shape and so on. And then we will be having our programming languages. So PL stands for programming languages. So we have many programming languages. For example, we can have C++, which we will study in this course. It can be Java, it can be Python and many more. So we have many programming languages. And finally, we will get our solution. Now let us discuss what is a programming language. Before discussing what is programming language, why do we need programming language? Let us try to understand what is the need of a programming language. So the answer is very simple. Computer only understand binary and we cannot talk in binary. So we need the help of a programming language. So programming language is a language with the help of which we can communicate to a computer. In this course, we are learning C++ programming language. So like any other language in general, general, programming language will also have some words, some symbols, some rules. In programming language, the rules of grammar, the grammatical rules are called syntax. So I'm repeating myself. Like any other language, in general, programming language will also have words, symbols and rules of grammar. So the rules of grammar has basically a name which is called syntax. Simple. Now let us talk about different type of programming language. So there are basically two types of programming language. We have high level language and we have low level language. And now let us try to understand the difference between them. So basically the high level language, these languages are basically close to humans. And low level language are basically close to machines. We can easily read and understand, we can easily read and write high level language. But for the low level language, it is impossible, or you can say it is very difficult for us to read and write low level language. The examples of high level language can be C++, it can be Java, it can be Python, it can be C#, and so on. The example of low level language is basically assembly language. So let us understand it more clearly. So we have our C++ language, or you can say Java, or you can say Python language. Then we have our assembly language. Then we have machine code, which we will understand later what is machine code. And finally we are having something like ARM, IBM, MIPS. So this is generally a flow. So now let us talk about how the high level instructions will be executed. We have high level instructions, or what we can say human instructions. So these human instructions will pass through a magical box, and this magical box will contain two things, compiler and linker. So this magical box is containing two things, compiler and linker, and finally our output will basically be a machine code. So machine code is basically 0 ones, 0 1 0 1 0 1 1 and so on. So machine code is basically zeros and ones. Now let us try to understand what is a compiler and what is a linker. So the purpose of compiler is basically it will read, it will analyze, it will translate our code. We will write the code in C++ language in this course. So it will read, analyze and translate our code to an object file. .o will be the extension. And what is the purpose of linker? So linker, what will do? It will combine one or more object file which is generated by the compiler along with some other files, along with some library files to make an executable file. .exe will be the extension. So let us take the help of a diagram to understand it better. So we have this beautiful diagram with us. Now what do we have here? So we have source code. So we can have many source codes. So this source code, what it will do? So it will pass through a compiler. So I have compiler here. Similarly, I have compiler here, and similarly we have compiler here. So this source code will pass through a compiler, and the output will basically be an object code. So this will be the output, object code. .o is our extension, .o, and similarly .o. Then here we will be having our library file. So we have library file, or you can say library code. There is no need to worry if you do not know library code. We will see all these things in detail in our future lessons. Now what is the purpose of linker? So here is our linker present. So what linker will do? So linker will combine one or more object code along with the library file to make an executable file. .exe will be the extension. So let me demonstrate you with the help of an example to understand it better. Just focus on my screen. So I have this file here, demo.cpp. CPP means C++ file. Now let us open this file. I have written some code here. There is no need for you to understand what is the meaning of this code. Now this button is basically compiler button. Now let us build and run our program. So hello world is the output for this program. Now let us close our output, and now let us see our desktop screen again. So see, these two files, demo.o and demo.exe. So these two files were not present earlier, but they are present now. So what is the meaning of these two files? So basically this .o file, this file is basically generated by the compiler. And what is the purpose of linker? So linker will combine this object code with some library code to make this .exe file. Now let us come back to our class. Now let us discuss the last topic for today's class. And the last topic is basically variables. Now let us try to understand what is the meaning of a variables. So variables are basically simply cells in a memory where you will store your information or your data. So let us consider this example. So I have written here int p1, p2. So p1 and p2 are the two variables. So let's say the name of this cell is basically p1 and the name of this cell in the memory, let's say its name is basically p2. So p1 and p2 are variables because they are cells in a memory. For example, if I write p1 equals 100, then what will happen? So I will store 100 in memory location p1. And what will happen if I do p2 equals p1? So the meaning of this line is very simple. Copy the content of p1 into p2. So what will happen? p2 will also store 100 just like p1. So basically p1 and p2, they are variables. Why they are variables? Because they are cells in the memory. Okay, so now let us discuss what is the meaning of int here. So int mean basically integer. Int stands for integer. So the meaning of this int is basically very simple. This int says p1 and p2, they will store only integer. They will store only integer. You can say p1 variable is storing an integer. 100 is an integer. Similarly, p2 variable is also storing an integer. So that is the significance of writing int here. So I think this is enough for an introduction to programming. In next class, we will learn about flowcharts in detail. Can't wait to see you in the next one. Bye bye.